Let's get started. So after a visionary new fund back to technology first investment that effectively just happened over there, we can get ready. So thanks again, visionary team, for having us. Today we're going to discuss in this interesting panel about the role of business angels and micro VC. So we've been discussing a lot about how the tech ecosystem in Europe has developed over the years, and as such, your role is becoming way more important over the last few years, I would say. So tell us more about how you do see your role in this new, let's say, era of investment from angels and micro VCs. Would you want to get this? Carmen?
So I personally, I really like that, that winning spree we've seen in Europe over the last years, because there is still quite something to catch up compared to the US. And you see how important, especially in the early days, former founders, micro VCs are to back just young people with eventually only an idea before they're ready to talk with you guys, for instance.
Yeah, I think that's actually a key. The timing is one key aspect of it. And the other one is that we collaborate, we don't compete, because either we're angels or we're micro funds, we're small. So we can collaborate with each other and with lead investors, which actually means that we share. And that adds a lot of more kind of velocity and transparency to the ecosystem and a lot more opportunities to founders, because actually, one of Cocoa's first investments was actually a 16 VC, didn't want to invest in the space, but rated the founder super highly. We spoke to him, we loved it, we invested. And likewise, we're co-investors with Daniel in several companies. So we work with you guys, we work with visionaries. And so you create this kind of sharing, collaborative pool that just creates much more access for founders and much more win-win opportunities.
Yeah, I think you touch upon a very interesting point, Carmen, about your secret sauce of sharing and collaborating more. So any more details there? Tell us, the audience, a bit more about your secret sauce, how you do it.
Yeah, I can share on the other side, because we collaborate between funds. So my name is Andrei, I'm the founder and CEO at Miro, and a few years ago I started to invest as an angel, and pretty fast I realized that it's way better to partner with a bunch of other friends who invest as an angels, and we created Angels Collective. Because for me, it's hard to invest on my own. I don't have much time. I don't have much expertise in certain markets. So we realized that will be the best path. We created this fund S16 VC that was mentioned before already. And now we are kind of trying to bring to founders the kind of more advanced view on the market, on the growth levers they can use and so on. Because we, as founders, we made our journey to a certain level, and now we can look at their journey same eyes as they look and help them navigate that journey. It can be hiring, it can be firing, it can be building the product, finding product market fit. So that was the idea, and that was kind of our angle to differentiate on the market. And yeah, we partner a lot. Like, we partner between each other, because our checks are not big, and we don't need to have the full round. So we can do joint rounds together with other funds, like bigger and smaller. So and that also a value for founders, because they get like a lead investor like Excel or Sequoia or Iconic or whatever is the fund, but they also can leverage the community of founders and operators that is behind the smaller funds.
And I think in our case, it's actually interesting, because we come at it from we like to say at Cocoa, we're VCs turned angels. So my partner Anthony and I, we were VCs in large funds for 6 years, and at the same time we were angel investing. And by looking at the market from these two perspectives, we actually realized that there was an opportunity to be the in-house VC for founders, which basically means that we would be small like an angel, so free, independent, and neutral, but we will bring on all our VC network and our VC expertise to help founders hack the system, like we say it, right? The same way that like Andrew and Daniel help founders with insights on how to build the business because they've done it, we help founders on insights of how to kind of manage your investors all the way from the round to the board. And actually what's interesting is that by doing that, we realized that we were building very unique relationships of trust with the founders that put us in a position that was very strong to support them also emotionally across the board. And like we like to say that with EQ rather than just IQ. And that's kind of our secret sauce in theirs.
And Daniel, how do you source your deals? Given that you, together with Jochen and Andre, have probably been one of the most active angel group in Germany over the last few years.
So there are a couple items around that. First of all, I think it's important that we're still active as entrepreneurs running Flix. That means people see what we're doing, and then they sometimes just reach out and ask us for advice and sparring. And that's a good intro and a good deal flow. And then obviously, very much as Carmen said, over the last 10 years, it has been built out so we know former co-founders, former fellows we eventually pitched ourselves towards to. And with that said, people know at some point in time what the capabilities, the skills of each other are. And sometimes you need a certain advice, whether it's on product, whether it's on SaaS, whether it's in our case on transportation and mobility. And that's how we just interact and you know, get put towards new startups. And that's actually very easy and ultimately based on trust. So exactly as Carmen said.
All right. And how are you thinking about the future, guys? So how many investment are you thinking about making? How do you think about your role in the future? Your portfolio is now quite significant.
So we don't, I mean, I told you earlier, before I met Carmen in person, I got emails from her already. So I figured, I think we're invested in Cocoa. I didn't really know. As obviously in our syndicate, Jochen, Andre, and I, we ultimately infinitely trust us. And Jochen is the chief investment guy, so I have no idea. I know that we have more than 60 investments, and I'm uncertain whether there's a strategy. I mean, we were lucky that Flix is successful and we were able to get some secondaries. And obviously, we still run the business. We're just normal guys. And that means there is enough funds to just push it back into the ecosystem. Because as I earlier said, I think there is quite some potential in Europe, and we have something to catch up and have to make sure that we don't lose the competition against China or the US. But whatever it will take, maybe it's 600 at some point in time, don't know.
All right, 600 is a number then.
And by the way, this kind of timeline that Daniel discussed and before Andre is one of the things which I think was an inflection point to enable this movement of like angels and microfunds, which is like successful founders that have made money, and likewise with operators, and that have seen companies scaling and have made money and now kind of come back and recycle that capital into the ecosystem and also recycle all the knowledge into the ecosystem. So in terms of how we source, we're two people, so we're very clear that we were not going to compete with like outbound machines. It makes no sense. We were very focused, and we are very focused. We source from our network, and we always said that, had an assumption that has come true, which is we have an edge because of the position that we occupy as like VCs and angels. And so the fact, again, I insist on it, but it's key that we all collaborate, we don't compete, because there's space for all of us in the cap table, means that we get leads from VCs that actually on deals that they're gonna do. When you're a VC, the first thing you learn is that deal flow from other VCs is not good, because why are they sharing? In our case, they share things that they want also to do. That's one. And the main, actually, and the one that we're most proud about, is founders who we have invested in, or sometimes not invested in, but helped, that share with us their friends who are too early for going to a lead fund. Because if you're invested by Accel, by Visionaries, like by Index, or Sequoia, you're for sure gonna share your best friends with them, but once they're ready, because it's a one bullet. To us, they share their friends when they're still in their jobs. And I think that that has been a very, very valuable source of deal flow for us. And last but not least, our LPs, who are mainly founders, so it's the same source, share a lot of deals with us.
So the question is how many deals we plan to do?
Yeah, exactly. Tell us more
Tens
about
of
what
them.
next, Andre.
Keep that one.
We just did the first close of our new second fund, and we have a runway so to support tens of startups. On average, we invest like now 500K to 1 million, and I think this new market dynamics will tell us how to adjust the strategy, because it will be very different dynamics from what we already observe, but we want to pick up those companies, those founders that we can help most. So the focus for us is, if we can help, we are there. If we can't, maybe it's not the perfect match. So yeah, we want to be valuable for those who we invest in.
Yeah, speaking about that, so maybe as a last question that we can debate a bit together on. So you received some angel investing back in your early days. Which advice you wish you would have gotten from those angels that you're going to be able to share now with your investment?
So the truth is, we're lucky with our angels, and they found us accidentally, because we had to somehow, we overgunned that and kept on pitching it. We seized in a very early stage where there was no regulatory environment. And I think angels are the real assets when you can talk about smart money in terms of actual contribution. Some of them are still active. Some of them kept on being entrepreneurs, and they have a little bit, a different spirit than a financial investor. I mean, financial investors are, in order to do 10x investments, but especially in the beginning, there is more to a company than only looking forward to, I don't know, grow by 10 times. That's, one of the items you have to take care in order to build something great, but not the only one.
Andre?
Yeah, I grew up as a company, as a business, in a very strong community of like-minded people, and I think that was the best contribution to my personal growth and to the business growth. And I think that strong network, people who support you, but also people who can connect you with relevant people if you're hiring, if you're fundraising, if you just need a personal advice on the journey. That's the best network you can have. And what we're trying to do is, like, we're trying to replicate the same with all these founders who are around us. We try to create the community, the sense of community, the sense of belonging. So those founders who are new in the journey, they can rely on that network and try to get whatever they need inside that network. So that's kind of how I think, and that was very valuable in my early days. So trying to replicate what worked for us.
Actually, one thing that a lot of people don't know is actually I was a founder for a year, and I failed completely. And the reason I failed also was because I realized down the line I just didn't care about the problem. Like, I wanted to be a founder, and I found a problem to solve, but I wasn't really obsessed with it. And if now I would go back, and that's actually what I tell a lot of founders who are still like considering what to do or who are pitching to us, is like, I look for founders who are obsessed. Like, of course, they need to have unique insights into the market, sure, but ultimately they need to have like an excruciating reason to solve the problem they're going after, because it's so irrational to do what they're about to do that, like, either you're obsessed or it's the chances that they stay on it are lower, right? So I think I would like to have had somebody to tell me or to ask me whether I was really obsessed with the problem I was solving.
That was a great ending to our panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.